Very auspicious day. So let's begin. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tado Jayamudiraye. नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवती नैष्टिकीम्. We are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th canto, 4th chapter, 14th verse. यदिव्यक्षरं नाम गिदेदिदं नृणां सुहृत् प्रसंगात् अघम् आसुहन्दित पवित्रकीर्तिं तम् अलङ्घ्य शासनं भवानहो देष्टे शिवं शिवेतरः. यद्दिवि अक्षरं नाम गिरेरिदं नृणां सकृत् प्रसंगात् अघम् आसौ हन्दित पवित्रकीर्तिं त अलङ्क्य शासनं भवानहो द्वेष्टि शिवं शिवेतरः. यद्दिवि अक्षरा नाम गिरेरितां नृणां सकृत् प्रसंगादगम् आसु हन्दित पवित्रकीर्तिं तम् अलङ्घ्य शासनं भवानहो द्वेष्टि शिवं शिवेतरः. Synonyms. Which Divi Aksharam, consisting of 2 letters, Nama, name, Gira, Iridham, merely being pronounced by the tongue, Nranam, persons, Sakrit, once, Prasanga, from the heart, Agham, sinful activities, Asau, immediately, Handi, destroys, Tad, that, Pavitra, Kirthim, whose fame is pure, Tam, him, Alangya Shasanam, whose order is never neglected, Bhavan, you, Aho, oh, Tveshti, envy, Shivam, Lord Shiva, Shiva Idaraha, who are inauspicious. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace. A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Translation. Sadi continued, my dear father, you are committing the greatest offense by envying Lord Shiva, whose very name, consisting of 2 syllables, Shi and Va, purifies one of all sinful activities. His order is never neglected. Lord Shiva is always pure, and no one but you envies him. Purport. Since Lord Shiva is the greatest soul among the living entities within this material world, his name Shiva is very auspicious for persons who identify the body with the soul. If such persons take shelter of Lord Shiva, gradually they will understand that they are not the material body but are spirit soul. Shiva means Mangala or auspicious. Within the body, the soul is auspicious. Aham Brahmasmi, I am Brahman. This realization is auspicious. As long as one does not realize his identity as the soul, whatever he does is inauspicious. Repeat that. As long as one does not realize his identity as the soul, whatever he does is inauspicious. Very powerful statement from Srila Prabhupada. Shiva means auspicious, and devotees of Lord Shiva gradually come to the platform of spiritual identification. But that is not all. Auspicious life begins from the point of spiritual identification. But there are still more duties. One has to understand one's relationship with the Supreme Soul. If one is actually a devotee of Lord Shiva, he comes to the platform of spiritual realization. But if he is not intelligent enough, then he stops at that point, only realizing that he is spirit soul, Aham Brahmasmi. If he is intelligent enough, however, he should continue to act in the way of Lord Shiva. For Lord Shiva is always absorbed in the thought of Vasudeva. As previously explained, Sattvam Vishuddham Vasudeva Sabdhidam. Lord Shiva is always in meditation on the lotus feet of Vasudeva, Sri Krishna. Thus, the auspicious position of Lord Shiva is realized if one takes the worship of Vishnu, because Lord Shiva says in the Shiva Purana that the topmost worship is worship of Lord Vishnu. Lord Shiva is worshipped because he is the greatest devotee of the Lord Vishnu. One should not, however, make the mistakes of considering Lord Shiva and Lord Vishnu to be on the same level. That is also an atheistic idea. It is also enjoined in the Vaishnavya Purana that Vishnu or Narayana is the exalted supreme personality of Godhead. No one should be compared to him as equal, even Lord Shiva or Lord Brahma, not to speak of other demigods. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Chakshurunmilidam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthavidam Yena Bhudale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadadhi Supadantigam Vandeham Sri Gurum Sri Udabadagamalam Sri Gurum Vaishnavamsha Sri Rupam Sagrajadam Sahagana Raghunadhanidam Dum Sajivam Sadhvaidam Savadudam Parijana Saidam Sri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalidam Sri Vishakhanidamsha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dhinabandhu Jagatpade Gopesha Gopika Kanda Radha Kanda Namostude Dapta Kanchana Gauranki Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sude Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarupasya Kripa Sindhubhyev cha Padidanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Hare Om Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Srimade Lokanath Swami Nidramine Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Srimade Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nidramine Namaste Sarasada Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shvinyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Hari Om Tatsat Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Thank you so much for joining this very auspicious Bhagavatam section. So we were going through this very beautiful section of how a person can come to a level of enviousness and how can have as destruction from such an anarthas. The Bhagavatam gives us everything. If we just closely look at this each and every verse of Srimad Bhagavatam, it teaches us a lot in our life and how to act, how to behave, and how to execute our day-to-day life. Everything is there. And how one comes to a situation where he can see his own destruction. On the other hand, we can also see that how we can, elevate ourselves or come out from this all material and entanglements clutches by following these footsteps and following these instructions which is given in the scripture and by the acharyas. So here we can see that kind of a situation where Mother Sadi is coming to his own father's house. We know that the context of that Lord Shiva insisted Mother Sadi not to go because of, first of all, you are not invited. Second, you will not be respected, even though it is in your father's house. So it is mentioned that one can go to a person's their own house, a father house as a daughter can go to her father's house. But if you are not respected or valued, then there is no point of going. So Shiva was insisting Mother Parvati not to go. So we know the context of that. Daksha was Prajapati. He is conducting the yaga, Daksha yaga, great sacrifices. He's invited everybody, pretty much everybody around the great personalities, and everybody is going. And he's not invited only the Mother Sadi and the Parvati or Mother Sadi. and the Lord Shiva. So this out of enviousness. So we can see that from this chapter, that how what enviousness can take to a level that one can even forget himself. One can even forget himself, the relationship between the father and the son, father and the daughter, and spiritual master and the devotee, devotee and the spiritual master, even the Lord and his devotees. When the enviousness is there, he completely forgets everything. So as it's mentioned that in the scripture, that dhayade vishayan pumsa sangateshu badayade sanga sangayade kama kama krodha bhijayade krodhat pavati samoha samobha smriti vibhrama buddhi nasho pranakshati. So where this envy and all come from? The false ego, ahangar, that I am so and so. Oh, Daksha was thinking that I am the son of Brahma, I am the great personality, everybody is giving me respect. Everybody is offering me obeisances. When I come, everything is still stand still. Everything is, giving respect in such a way that I am their Lord. So this is the problem. This is the problem that we create from our false ego ahangar. So instead of becoming so humble and becoming so, becoming so humility and express our humility and humbleness, rather we puffed up and our pride grows. And then we think that we are the Lord. Now the Lord even has to come in front of us. As soon as we say, oh, that Lord, you should do this, that means now has that kind of ego, that, okay, false ego, that, even Lord has to obey my orders. So this kinds of attitude which develops, this is completely, destructing in nature, not constructive. It's destructive in nature. So this is very important lessons for all of us, that what we should do and how we should have when, especially when we come to a devotee platform. So these are all a big lessons, great lessons for all of us. So, but without, listening to the words of Lord Shiva, like Srila Prabhupada shows that even Sukadeva Goswami mentioning that the weakness of a woman, that they have soft-hearted. When they are soft-hearted and when they are emotion, when this comes to the emotion, then it's very difficult to control them. So there was a one person was saying that the tip of for a successful marriage is that one should never get into the or step into the or doesn't stop or intrude into the emotions of a woman, because of it can tamper, it can destroy that relationship because of kind of weak hearted. And on the other hand, it's mentioned that one should not step into the ego of a man, because of it is there. The man has that ego, I'm a padi, and that this thing so like that, and not the get into the emotions of a woman. Or a secret or a success of a the good married life is that so this is in the common or modern world, so that it's kind of everything is kind of an adjustment, living together, partnership, this kinds of an adjustment. That concept of padi and patni is kind of diminished pretty much. But when we have that kind of the understanding who is the what is the position of a padi and a patni, then there is a very harmonious, very spiritual life that can we can develop, very spiritual, very beautiful, family life. So here, the Mother Sati didn't listen much because of the weakness of the heart. Mother Sati was rushing to reach to her father's house. And seeing this, all the associates of Lord Shiva also followed Mother Sati. So Mother Sati reached to the arena where the Daksha was conducting this yaga. Seeing this, Mother Sati is approaching and coming. Daksha didn't even look at her and didn't even have any single word with her. And it's kind of a cruel look that why did she come here? The kind of approach. And then, but the mother of Mother Sati and the sisters and all greeted well, but they were all shedding tears, and Mother Sati was also shedding tears. And seeing this, and the enviousness from the Daksha, the envious nature of Daksha, Mother Sati became so furious and started to speak to her own father. So it's mentioned that one can speak the truth Doesn't matter whom he has, he can always speak the truth so that it benefits others. So this is another fact. Even as a 5-year-old boy can speak the truth if it benefits other person, if it benefits in any way. So that's called truth, satya. That's related to the Supreme Lord. So here, Mother Sadi is trying to speak and continue to speak. My father, you are coming to the greatest offense by envying Lord Shiva. So now, Mother Sadi is reminding Daksha that you didn't invite Lord Shiva because of your enviousness to Lord Shiva, whose very name, consisting of two syllables, Shiva, purifies all sinful activities. So basically, the word Shiva means all auspiciousness. Shiva, it eradicate that the sins and sinful activities. And and Shiva's order never neglected. He is Vaishnavana Yada Shambhu. He is the greatest Vaishnava. So this is Sadi knows this. That's why Sadi did sort of penances and attained Lord Shiva, the greatest position of Lord Shiva, and he is the greatest devotee of Lord Supreme Lord. So Lord Shiva is always pure, so we know that Sattvam Vishuddha Sattvam, as it says that Sattvam Vishuddham Vasudeva Sabdidam. This is the position of Lord Shiva. He is very pure. So how he is becoming very pure? Because of he is completely absorbed, completely meditating upon the Supreme Lord. So one who comes to that position, that means he is very pure. And if one is in pure Krishna conscious, means he is pure. His consciousness is pure, and he is very pure devotee of the Supreme Lord. So, and no one but you envies him. So, here on the other hand, a person supposed to be respected in great deal, but on the other hand, because of the ego, because of the false ego, because of these anarthas, this Daksha is envying Lord Shiva. So, this is the point Mother Sadi wanted to remind Daksha as her own father. So it's very important that why a person coming to this position or coming to these stages of enviousness, it's the greatest destructive nature of living entity, that if one who comes to that enviousness to other person, then he invites his own destruction. That's very clear, and that's very can see that. So we see that in the later part, and Daksha, lost his head. The Bhudaganas, they chopped his head, and Nandigesh chopped his head, and then he's completely dead. Then Shiva has to come down. Shiva has to then pardon him. Then only he could attain his own head, his own life back. So this was the position. So because of the ignorance, that's the main problem. Because of the ignorance, person behaves in the material platform. Then he started to create this kinds of jealousy and envy, and then he goes greatest, depth of it, and then he lost himself in very great detail. So we know that the envy personified, right, in the scriptures, the envy personified. We know that there are six anarthas, and also this great, this demoniacs, these demons like Hiranyakashipu, Hiranyaksha, Ravana, Kumbhakarna, Shishupal, and Indravakra, all represents this the various kinds of anarthas, especially six kinds of anarthas. So here we can see that Shishupal was the representation of the envy. He was, since his childhood, since he born, Shishupal was envy of Krishna. Wherever and whenever there is a time and then place, and then Shishupal always tried to, uh, um, you know, criticize, always tried to find faults and criticize, and using abuses, Lord Krishna in so many instances. When Krishna came to Dwaraka to get Mother Rukmini, and that time Shishupal, it was the marriage was arranged with the Shishupal, Mother Rukmini's marriage, and he was such a way that he was so much envious of Krishna in every time, and he was always using the bad words against Lord Krishna. And we know that, and he was burning himself with his envy of Krishna, because even though they are relative, they are cousins, but Shishupal was always envious of Lord Krishna. And we know that when in the arena of Rajasya Yagya, when Shishupal was there, and then Vishmadev requested Lord Krishna to be the head of the assembly. And in order to do the Agra Puja, that any sacrifices should start before we respect and offer obeisances and puja to the greatest personality assembled there. That's also another lesson that we should always respect the senior Vaishnavas and the devotees in all time, wherever they are. So if one comes, the senior Vaishnava comes, then we should give that proper respect to that devotee. This is our etiquette. This is the Vaishnava Tadachar. We should never forget all these things. In any cases, in any places, devotee comes, Vaishnava comes. So this is, and the Rajasi Yagya, that this was before the Yagya started, then they have to do a puja, Agra Puja. That's, when one should worship the greatest person, present in that assembly. Then Vishmadev suggested to worship the Supreme Lord. There is nobody else in that assembly that greater than the Lord Krishna. He is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Just hearing this, when Bhishmadev said, just hearing this, Shishupal became so furious. And Shishupal started to blame and criticize and abuse in such a way that you are a Gwala, you are a cowherd boy. How you can become the greatest of this assembly? Here the Vyasadev is sitting here. Here the great personalities of great sages, Asida, Vyasa, everybody is sitting here. And how can the Krishna, he's a cowherd boy, he's not even a Kshatriya. How can you treat like? So this is out of enviousness, not understanding the position and the greatness of a personality. So this is the first and foremost thing that a devotee has to understand. So whom that we should always see, devotee always should take a position that he should give respect to everyone. So this is why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu reveals this, that amanina manadena kirtaniya sadahari, right? One should tolerate. Trinatapi sunichena taroriva sagushana amanina manadena kirtaniya sadahari, right? One should humbler than a blade of grass. One should tolerant than a tree. And always one should give respect to everyone and never expect anything in return. So if you have something that, okay, I'm so and so, I should get the respect from everybody, I should, then there's the problem. Then we will get into the trouble. Then it'll create all the other anarthas will come to us one by one. It will come to us and it destroy us. So similarly, so this anartha which Shishupal had, this enviousness which developed in such a way that he started to abuse that the word which criticized the Lord, and then Lord has to chop his head in order to stop this. So similarly, we will end up in lot of situation like this. And why it is occurring? Because of it is our own nature. So we never, kind of comes to this kinds of understanding that we should always have very humble position. We should always think that I am not a devotee. So always says that in the Nectar of Devotion, it is mentioned that a devotee, a pure devotee, never thinks that he is a devotee. He thinks that everybody else is a devotee. But on the other hand, a Kanishta Adhikari, or he just come up and then it's kind of attitude that it's just because of the ignorance and false ego. He thinks that I am the only one devotee, so everybody else is a not devotee. So I am the only one devotee. Then what happens? Everybody has to give me respect. Everybody has to respect me, value me, offer obeisance. If he doesn't do, anybody doesn't do, then he start to create an enemy. Oh, he is greater than me. He has an insecurity feeling. Oh, so I'm low. So he is now great. So I am the great. I am the great person. So it's all there. So this is anartha. This is a problem. This creates our mind, right? Adhyatmic problem. So it creates our mind. So we should eradicate all this. So this is the point where Mother Sadi is referring here the enviousness. So in order to eradicate our enviousness, we should come to that position of a devotee or a Vaishnava qualities. So what is the Vaishnava qualities or a sadhu or a Vaishnava? Then in the Srimad Bhagavata it is mentioned that so Didiksha Karunika Sukurta Sarva Dehinam Ajada Shatru Shandaha Sadhuya Sadhu Bhushanaha. Bhushana, ornaments. So these all wonderful qualities are an ornament of a devotee. So one should cultivate, one should develop these wonderful qualities. What are those wonderful qualities? The symptom of a sadhu is that he is tolerant. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says he is tolerant than a tree, right? On the scorching heat, the tree just suffers and tolerate. And then the merciful and friendly, Didikshva, Karunika, and Suhurda Sarva Budehina. He is very, very Sugurda, friendly to everyone. And he is very merciful to everyone. That's why Vaishnava is always considered as Para Dukha Dukhi. He never thinks that, his own benefits, his own welfare. But a devotee, a Vaishnava, always thinks that what I can do for other person, what can I do, what can I serve, how can I serve, right, for the other persons. So in the context of it, actually, one time, John F. Kennedy, he became the president of this United States, and he became the first address that he mentioned that do not ask what country can do for you, but you think that what you can do for your country. So this is all right. It's a very powerful statement. So the devotee should always think that what can I do for other person? What can I do for others' well-being and the welfare? This is the position of a devotee. He's a very humble and meek, and he was always ready to serve other devotees. So when we have this, we develop this quality, then we are free from anarthas. So we are free from anartha. So one should be friendly to all living entities. He has no enemies, adhyada shatru. And he is peaceful, he abides by scriptures, and all his characteristics are sublime. All his characters are sublime. So this is the Vaishnava quality. We have to develop this Vaishnava quality. So like Sadi is referring here, and this is actually Mother Sadi, because of this is for a lesson and teaching for us that we should adopt and absorb this in our life. Then only we can come to a position, like to the follow the footsteps of Lord Shiva. So here Srila Prabhupada mentioning this purport that everybody is actually one who even take up the name of Shiva, he can come to that position of purity. He can come to that stage of realization that he is not this body, he is Atma, his spirit soul. Aham Brahmasmi. He can come to that stage. He can come to that purified stage. But see, we don't have to. Srila Prabhupada says that, okay, it's not that good enough. If one takes worship the Lord Shiva or associate with the Lord Shiva or take the name of Lord Shiva, then okay, come to that purified state, come to that stage of that, I'm the spirit soul, I'm not the body. But at the same time, we should go further, we should follow the footsteps of Lord Shiva. Even Lord Shiva himself is worshipping the Supreme Lord. We know that Lord Shiva was meditating on 10,000 years under the water to please the Lord. And then finally, Lord pleased and Lord appeared, Lord, the Supreme Lord appeared before Lord Shiva. This is in the canto which is mentioned that the Prajetas, when the Prajetas were going for the meditation, for the penances, and on the way that they met with the Lord Shiva, and Lord Shiva was instructing to the Prajetas that what you supposed to do. Lord Shiva instructed to the Prajetas that you should worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And just by taking that word from the Lord Shiva, Prajetas also get the Lord Supreme Lord appeared before them and gave all the benedictions. Similarly, the Supreme Lord also appeared before Lord Shiva. So this is the steps that we have to take. So this is the instruction that we are getting from this Srimad Bhagavatam, that one should follow the footsteps of Lord Shiva because of he is the greatest Vaishnava, greatest, the devotee of the Supreme Lord. So instead of just, there is a situation that many devotees are the bhaktas of the Lord Shiva, and they come to this understanding, realizing they are Brahman, they are, all this, then that we can see that they don't go beyond. But the intelligent person or one who get the mercy, sincere, the Lord Shiva himself direct him to worship the Supreme Lord. So instead of having this impersonalist, or instead of having kind of this yogi, that rather than one can come to that, one can realize that his original constitutional position is that he is an eternal servant of the Supreme Lord, and he has to serve the Supreme Lord in loving devotional service. So this is the teaching of Lord Shiva. And the Mother Sadi is also saying that one has to come to that position of a devotee. Only in the devotional platform, only in the devotee stage, that one can come out from all these anarthas or enviousness. Then one can follow the footsteps of Lord Shiva. There is no, Lord Mother Sadi is saying that there is nothing that you should envy of Lord Shiva because of he is a great personality. We all have to follow him, respect him, and value him. And that's if we don't do that, that's our mistake. So rather that when we worship, when we follow the Lord Shiva, the footsteps of Lord Shiva, that's our success, that's our perfection. So that's why it's always says that we should always tadvidi pranipatena pariprasnena seveya upadeshandiye jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshina. We come to a situation where there is dharma sangat. We don't know what to do. That's why in this all the time we should have a spiritual master as a devotee. We should take shelter of them, and then we should follow their instructions, and we should serve them menially, unconditionally, because they have seen the truth. So this is a very important lesson. Like we should follow the Lord Shiva. He's the greatest Vaishnava. So we should also follow that the footsteps Lord Shiva so that we can engage completely in bhakti, irrespective of, or that, without in the entanglement of all these anarthas of envious, jealousy, lust, greed, anger, and all of it. So let me stop here. Thank you so much. It's 7:02. Thank you so much. Grandaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Madhuvati Prabhu.
Thank you, Simeshwar Prabhu. Nice to see you at the beachfront.
The beachfront is the nature.
Yeah.
Jai.
We'd like to wish you all a safe and Krishna conscious day ahead. And we'd like to offer our prayers to the Supreme Lord. Especially let's devote these prayers to the devotees all over the world, but especially those in India and Pakistan, where they're closely poised to go at each other. uh, yeah, we'll offer these prayers by chanting Hare Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna, Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare.
Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
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 Rama,
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 Rama
Rama
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare.
Hare
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 Krishna,
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 Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
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 Krishna,
Hare Hare,
Krishna,
Hare Hare.
Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Hare
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Rama,
Hare
Rama
Rama,
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 Hare.
Hare Hare.
Hare
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 Krishna,
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 Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
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 Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare.
Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
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 Rama,
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 Rama
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 Rama,
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 Hare
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 Hare.
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 Shri Nrsingo, Jai Nrsingo, Jai Jai Nrsingo, Praladesha, Jaya Padma Mukha Padma Bringa, Ugraveeram
Raviram
Yoga
Vahamutram
Krishna
Jalantam
Vishnu
Vishuddham
Jalantam
Sarvadam,
Sarvadokam
Jayatomukham
Nrsimham Vishnu
Narsingham
Vishuddham
Vishnu
Bhadram
Prasadam,
Bhatyo
Jayatomukham
Bhatyo
Namami.
Dadami.
Nrsinga Bhagwan ki
Ki
Jai,
Jai,
Prahlad Maharaj
Ki
ki
Jai.
Jai. The Pana time today is 9:38 to
10:31.
10:31 a.m. And yeah, we'd like to offer obeisances to all the Samar Vaishnavas, Manchakalpatarubhaya, Kripa
Vanchakalpatarvasya
Sindhu,
Kripa
Vasindhu
Sindhavayati
Patitanam
Patitanam
Vidana
Pavanebhyo
Bhavahe.
Vaishnavebhyo Namo
uh,
Namaha.
Vaishnavinda ki Jai, Granth Sahib
Jai,
Bhagavatam ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada,
Jai.
Jai Gaur Premanande,
Hare
Hari Hari
Krishna.
Hari Bo.
Thank you, Sumeshwar Prabhu.
Thank
Thank
you
you, Hare
everybody.
Krishna.
Hari Bo, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Bol.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Bol. Thank you.